full commentaries across the day here on 5 Live Sport. Our first one comes from the KC Stadium. It's Hull against Manchester United with Chris Waddle and John Murray.
Thank you, Mark. Yes, every Premier League team plays on the same day, and if that wasn't enough of a novelty, in fact, all 92 clubs and every Scottish Premiership club are also playing today, all in action on the same day. Oh, when the last time that happened. So it is a proper Boxing Day programme of football that lies ahead of us. And we start here at the KC Stadium, from where we sit. On a day like this, you can see for miles and miles and miles across the flatlands of East Yorkshire with the sun shining. It is a cold Boxing Day lunchtime, but there are still shards of sunshine on the spectators on the far side of the ground, and we're ready for kick-off. Hull City against Manchester United. Hull City, who have an excellent home record this season, and among the teams that have come here and been beaten are no less than Liverpool, the current leaders of the Premier League, and Manchester United finding their feet after those successive home defeats earlier this month to Everton and Newcastle. Manchester United come here having won 4 games in a row since then. So the match begins. Michael Oliver is the referee, and Hull City in the black and amber shirts, black shorts, black socks with the amber trim, playing from right to left in this first period against the Manchester United team playing all in white today, and Manchester United clearing the ball away through Smalling to the halfway line, and then a touch from Valencia, who is adjudged to be just a little heavy on Figueroa. So a free kick, an early free kick to Hull City here on the left. Chris, you're shaking your head.
Well, I can't believe that's a free kick. He's just headed the ball and he stood his ground. I can't believe it. It's a good position. Tom Huddleston's come out this far touchline left side. Man United playing high, 18-yard line. Good space to put the ball in.
1 minute played, free kick to Hull City. Huddleston plays it in, headed away by Welbeck, swept further away on the edge of the box by Young, out to Valencia. And now Raphael hits it long and forward. Young has continued his run, a back heel flick from Young to Welbeck, and then Figueroa just put a foot in the way of that, rather slightly riskily, using the bottom of his boot to do that. Here's Rooney now into the action as Manchester United have it back. Manchester United with Valencia on the right hand side. Valencia has Raphael behind him. In fact, there's Darren Fletcher starting a match for Manchester United for the first time in a little over a year, and Fletcher goes all the way back towards the halfway line. So let me just run you through the sides in full when I get a chance, as Hull City just head the ball away. Davis from the edge of his own penalty area, and Davis steers it back to goalkeeper McGregor, who's just had a little bit of a heavy touch there. Welbeck had a sniff, and now it comes down for Myla, and then Huddleston inside his own half. So Hull City, as I mentioned about 10 minutes ago, Hull City, Steve Bruce choosing the same team for the 4th match in a row, and also today the same substitutes as at West Brom last weekend when they drew the match 1-1, their 3rd consecutive draw, Hull City. So McGregor in goal. 3 central defenders are Chester, Bruce and Davis. Chester is a former Manchester United youngster. The wing-backs, El Mohammadi and Figueroa. Then Livermore, Huddleston and Myla in the middle, and Graham and Sagbo up front. And it is Hull making good progress down the right. El Mohammadi is challenged, comes in. The challenge on him to put it out of play from Johnny Evans for a corner to Hull.
Well, good play, good start by Hull City as well. They're really passing the ball around, a lot of confidence. Huddleston, Livermore, 2 good midfield players, very good for this level, and so far this team's got a lot of confidence. The only problem they've got here, John, the build-up play looks great, and every time they got to put the ball in the box, there's one player in the box. You can see why they don't score enough goals.
Yep. Manchester United have all of their 11 players back inside their own penalty area to defend this corner. For some reason the ball has not been returned to Huddleston from in amongst the Manchester United supporters. I think that is. They've kept a hold of it. They'll give it back presently. But a new ball has had to be produced for Huddleston to take this corner. Here he comes. It's towards the edge of the 6-yard box. It's headed down and turned into the net. Chester is there. James Chester, the central defender who started his career at Manchester United, hooks the ball in from close range and Hull City have a shock lead against Manchester United through the former Manchester United youngster James Chester. What a story for him. It's Hull 1, Manchester United 0.
Oh, dream start here for Hull City. Steve Bruce will be absolutely delighted. Hull have started very positive, I've got to say. They're moving the ball around excellent. Manchester United haven't settled at all. They've given the ball away cheaply. They work the corner. It's an easy head out the far post. I think it was Bruce who heads it down. A bit of a scramble. Chester reacts first. Volley into the roof of the net. So far they've deserved it. Good start by Hull City.
Well, that is extraordinary for Chester to score against Manchester United. I know that Pat Murphy, our colleague Pat Murphy, always talks about the immutable law of the X, which I think he initially got from the doyen of football writers, Brian Glanville. But for Chester to score, I mean, what a story that is for him. He barely really got a chance to play for Manchester United for the first team. Only one substitute appearance, which was in the League Cup, in a League Cup semi-final, in the second leg of a League Cup semi-final. And, you know, it almost mean a great deal to him when he's able to play against Manchester United. But there, I mean, you could almost see the dollar signs in his eyes when it fell to him in the 6-yard box. He couldn't miss.
No, it's a good finish though. It may look easy. Listen, there's a lot of bodies around him. He just had good contact, focused, and he whacks into the roof of the net. But again, they've started well, Hull, and I like the shape of this team. Manchester United are finding it difficult at the minute to come to terms with it. Where you're going to get your joy when you're playing against a three at the back is your full-backs. And you need Raphael and Evra to get the ball a lot earlier and start moving the ball around. But so far, it's all Hull City.
Well, it looked to me like he couldn't miss. But it came from the corner, Huddlestone's corner on the right. It was Alex Bruce, Steve Bruce's son, who was there on the far side of the penalty area to nod it down straight to one of his central defensive partners, Chester, who lashed it into the net. So Hull City 1, Manchester United 0.
You said he couldn't miss, John. Remember, he's a centre-half.
Well,
he may score the head more centre-halves, but you don't see him score much with the feet.
No, but it was in the net. And James Chester, 4th minute goal, means that Hull are 1-0 up. Well, for the neutral, Christopher, that was a very good goal, and means we've got quite a game on our hands already here as Huddlestone heads the ball towards the edge of the box, and it's nodded away by Johnny Evans. And go on.
If you think, look, Man United are set up really for the counter-attack, but what Hull have got, they've got a back three, Mark and Danny Welbeck, really, and it's up to Manchester United to push onto that three and occupy them and make the wing backs come back. At the minute, they're not doing it. They're playing very deep in the lane, and it's very easy for the three to mark Welbeck, very, very easily, and they're passing the ball around. They've got good footballers, Hull. People, yes, they might lack quality strikers, and we're going to get you 15-20 goals, but midfield-wise, very good players, technically very good.
That's Chris Waddle with us on 5 Live, the former England World Cup player. Here's Valencia, who gets away from Figueroa. Valencia's early cross cleared away, flicked away, back-heeled away by Alex Bruce and touched further away. But Manchester United, in this rather unfamiliar-looking all-white kit, bringing the ball forward as United play from left to right. Rooney on the edge of the box. Challenge comes in on him from Bruce, and it was a good one as well. And Hull City could break here, although the momentum, Myler actually slowed it there and just introduced a hint of caution with Hull leading by a goal to 0. And in fact, they still haven't got out of their own half on this attack. So the Manchester United side in full today. A couple of changes. No Phil Jones. United tell us that he has got a knee injury, Phil Jones, and will be out for a couple of weeks. So he's not involved. Januzaj drops down to the substitutes bench. So the two to come in are Darren Fletcher, as we've discussed, and Ashley Young as well. So Manchester United with De Gea in goal, a back four of Raphael, Smalling, Evans and Evra, Cleverley and Fletcher in central midfield, Valencia, Rooney and Young, the line of three, and then Welbeck, who is there up front. Danny Welbeck, having scored 3 goals in his last 3 appearances for Manchester United, 3 in the 2 league games. Cleverley heads it on, and out comes McGregor as Young slides in. It was there for them both to go for, and McGregor clutched it with his gloves just as Young arrived with outstretched leg, and McGregor is hurt here. There has been contact made on him, but not too much being made of it by the players there, even though they gather around.
He had to go for it, John. It was a ball which was loose. Ashley Young spotted it. It was a 50-50. Now he's bringing him back, Michael Oliver. He's having a chat with him. Listen, he had to go for it. I know you can't touch goalkeepers anymore, but he had to go for that. And I'm sure he'll be all right. He's lying in the minute and he's getting a bit of treatment. But I think Ashley Young didn't do anything wrong. He just went for the ball.
Yeah, I think he's going to be okay, McGregor, still receiving treatment, and I think quite correctly it's just a word on Ashley Young just to watch it basically in those situations and be aware of the safety of the goalkeeper. So Hull City winning 1-0. What about from a defensive point of view, the goal that Manchester United conceded from the corner?
Set pieces, everybody hates conceding a goal, John, from a corner or a free kick, any dead ball situation. You should really, you've got a man, you mark your man. If you don't hit it, make sure he doesn't. It's all cliches, but it's true. And David Moyes will be doing that. Was lack of concentration more than anything. Who was picking Chester up for the second ball? Who was picking Bruce up for the first ball? It's a bad goal to give away.
And it means that Hull City are winning 1-0 against Manchester United. There is a smattering of early kickoffs around the country. It is now Coventry 1, Peterborough 2 in League One. So Peterborough are back in front. And in the earliest kickoff in the Championship, Brighton have taken an early lead against Charlton at the Valley. I'll let you know in due course who scored that goal, but play back underway here.
Danny Welbeck.
And Welbeck's just been caught.
Yeah, it's a good tackle by Curtis Davis. He lost it. A good block by Welbeck. He thought he'd get the second ball. Davis' big long left leg comes out, plays the ball out for a throw in. Danny Welbeck somehow's been caught. He's been rolling around. The fans are not because he did play the ball. It was a very good tackle, but he might have just caught him with his trailing foot, and we know Danny Welbeck limped off the last game, so he's up and he seems to be all right.
Yeah, the chorus of boos from the home supporters who are buoyant after watching their team, Hull City AFC, score their 4th minute goal to take the lead against Manchester United. Hull City have lost all 4 of the games that they've previously played in the top flight against Manchester United. Remember, I think it always should be said about Hull City this season, this is only the 3rd season of top flight football Hull City have ever had. Welbeck's still just demonstrating that he's feeling the effects of that challenge from Davis, and he just turns away from Davis as they run past each other. He just has a little glance over his shoulder. Goal kick, Hull City. Chris Waddle.
Well, I think Manchester United are coming to terms with the way Hull play. It is different from what they used to, and they've actually pushed Valencia a lot higher. Ashley Young, and if they can take the 2 centre-halves away and leave Welbeck on Bruce, run them inside, and that's where you get your full-backs in, and that's where they're going to get their joy. If they can clear space for Raphael and Evra to come into that space, and I think they'll cause a lot more problems to Hull. They're just starting now to realise how to get down the sides of this Hull City side.
Hull coming again. The ball played over the top for Sagbo, but just slightly sending him wide. Myler it was with the touch, just a little heavy. Sagbo plays it back into the middle. Myler shanks an effort. It's rattling around. Myler shoots. Oh, it's been missed. Took a deflection. That carried it past De Gea. And Myler has scored. And Hull City now 2-0 up on Manchester United inside the first quarter of an hour. Amazing stuff. What a day for Hull City. They lead Manchester United 2-0.
So that's 2 goals really, isn't it? You've got to say again, this is woeful defending. The ball comes in the box, falls to Sagbo. He has plenty of time to get it down. He tries a cross, it ricochets off of 2 players. It comes to Myler again, and it's a scuff shot. And I'm not sure if it might be Smalling who sticks his foot out of Vidic, and it just seems to bobble over De Gea. And it's a terrible goal. Clearance, it should have been cleared. It's a terrible mistake, and it goes over the top.
Well, it was Evans, wasn't it? It just came off Evans' toe end.
Oh, it's a shocking. By the way, they're playing. Hull have had just basically trying to keep the ball. And Manchester United are at the back, are all over the shop.
What a scoreline. And now, actually, Alan McGregor is receiving treatment at 10 yards outside of his penalty area. I'm not sure what has happened there, whether this is a continuation of the knock that he took from Ashley Young, but I don't know how he comes to be sitting down 10 yards outside of his box, but might just do a service to Hull City here, just to get their heads together with a 2-0 lead against the champions.
Well, they're all out on the touchline, Steve Bruce and his coaches, and they need McGregor to stay on, but if Steve Harper has to come on, a very experienced keeper, very good keeper as well, so I don't think there's a problem there, but you'd like to keep McGregor on. He's not been happy with that challenge off Ashley Young since then. He's been limping around. I noticed when he took a free kick, but Manchester United got to sort themselves out defensively, and every time Hull come forward, the ball goes in the box, it's panic stations, and I'm very surprised because Manchester United is in a good bit of form.
Well, McGregor has received his treatment. Manchester United looking a little shell-shocked here. This is a continuation, isn't it, of the pattern this season under David Moyes, where just when you think that things are getting onto an even keel, then something seems to go wrong, and they trail 2-0. Of course, what you would say about this is 2-0 down. We're only in the 15th minute now. They've got plenty of time to do something about it. But that was what a scruffy goal that was as well. I would call that a contender for the worst Premier League goal of the season.
Well, Johnny Evans cleared it first time, didn't he? He didn't clear it properly, hit it straight back across the 6-yard box, and the shot wasn't a great shot, was it, by Mel? It was basically anything on target. He just seems to scuff it, and what's Johnny Evans doing? Sticks his foot out over the top of there, no communication. 2-0, and listen, Manchester United are capable of scoring goals. We've seen this all over the years.
Well, there's Rooney just with a challenge from behind on Huddleston, trying to nick the ball away from him, and just caught him from behind. It's a free kick, no more than that.
Well, Wayne Rooney does get frustrated. We've seen over the years, doesn't he? There's no need to do that. He's having to go at the referee now. You'd give the free kick away, Wayne, but there'll be no rush here from Hull. But they're playing very well organised, the Hull City, and as I said, Livermore and Huddleston, two good signings. They use the ball very, very well, and you look at the Hull players, they're always wanting to give the ball to Huddleston because we know he's a very good passer of the ball.
Right, past the quarter of an hour mark we go, and the score, if you've joined us late on Boxing Day lunchtime, which is your prerogative, of course, the score is Hull City 2, Manchester United 0. James Chester and David Myler, the goal scorers. Well, are we giving that to Myler, Mr. Dubious Goals man?
I wouldn't give him it, no. I'll go on goal.
On goal.
Because I think De Gea would have picked that up. In fact, he could have picked it up with his hat.
He could. Here's Hull City with Figueroa crossing from the left-hand side. It's headed away by Evra, comes back, and then Evra is able to get a touch to it and bring it down, play it up towards Welbeck. And Welbeck, well challenged by Huddleston. And now Evans just hoists a ball away through the middle that comes off the head of Valencia. Oh, McGregor has come out, and now Myler and Rooney go for a 50-50 and both end up sprawling on the grass, but they're okay. Fletcher now pulls it square. Darren Fletcher playing in the absence of Phil Jones today. Darren Fletcher, only his third appearance of the season after this nasty illness that he's had, and his first start for over a year. But it's Young back in field towards Cleverley, turns and spreads it high out towards this side of the field, the Manchester United right. Raphael with a cross, glancing header from Valencia, but not threatening McGregor's goal, and he's able just to move nimbly to his right and allow it to bounce past. Just saying, McGregor is still hobbling there, and it's a Manchester United change we're going to see, and Raphael is also hurt. He's not going to be able to play any further part. Off he goes, the United right back, and Januzaj is on to replace him in the 18th minute. So another problem for David Moyes. And it's Valencia who will go back to right back.
That's a good... I know it sounds silly, but Valencia's naturally coming forward. Januzaj can run Figueroa off, or Curtis Davis, and that allows the space for Valencia to come into, and that's what Manchester United are not exploiting, the flanks, and that's where they're going to get. Ashley Young's playing really wide. He needs to run inside, leave the space for Evra, and get the full-backs in, because they're the two spare players for Manchester United.
It was Ulloa, as I believe they call him, who scored for Brighton. Charlton 0, Brighton 1, and it is Brentford 1, Swindon 1. Brentford equalising through Saunders. United with the ball on the right. Januzaj, he's just been caught there by Figueroa. Free kick to Manchester United in the Hull City left-back area. Yellow card for Figueroa for that?
Well, rightly so. Januzaj got the side of him. He played the ball away from him, and he was in round the back, and he takes him down. This is a good position for Manchester United to get back in the game.
Yes, it is. 5 Live, BBC 5 Live here at the KC Stadium, the atmospheric KC Stadium, which I'll be surprised if it's not the biggest crowd of the season so far today. United free kick. Rooney plays it in. Glancing header into the net. Smalling is there. Firm touch with his head. Flew past McGregor. Couldn't get near it. And Manchester United have a goal back. Hull City 2, Manchester United 1.
Well, you can never write Manchester United off. The quality they've got, and the delivery by Rooney was first class. And Smalling, we know he's got good aerial ability, but again, you're going to question the marking. It's a simple goal. He's headed it from about 7-8 yards. He just heads it onto the direction of the goal, bottom corner. McGregor no chance. Good delivery, Rooney. Simple goal for Manchester United. Poor defending again.
Again for the neutral. Excellent Boxing Day fare here. 3 goals already. And Hull City now swinging it forward, and Milo was in there again. Well watched though by the goal scorer Smalling, who beat him. Milo has stayed down incidentally, and then Welbeck loses possession, and Hull City come again. Milo's just getting to his feet near the penalty spot, and then Hull City lose it in centre field. Livermore responsible, and now Welbeck drifting forward past 2 challenges, and then just caught by Huddleston, who just did enough to get a little touch on Welbeck, who was already off balance and was sent sprawling, and it's a free kick.
Well, I've got to say, John, if Figueroa's is a yellow card, then Tom Huddleston should be getting a yellow card as well. Great run by Welbeck, quick feet, goes past 2, goes past Huddleston. He just leaves his foot out dangling, trips him up. Another good position for Wayne Rooney to take a free kick.
Yeah, similar position to where Manchester United scored their first goal, but it's on the other side. It's like a mirror image. Rooney whips it in. Welbeck with a touch, deflected wide. Corner.
It is a corner as well, wasn't it? It was just Welbeck touches it. I think it's Chesto gets a head on it as well, which just goes past the post. McGregor couldn't move again. I don't know if he's feeling the effects of that knee off the collision with Ashley Young earlier on, but he seems rooted to the spot every time the ball comes on target.
Manchester United take the corner short, and it's curled in by Cleverley, and McGregor does well actually when he is brought into action, when he had a chance, extended himself fully and pushed it wide, but he does not look quite right. McGregor, corner though from the right hand side this time. Januzaj plays it into the back post. Rooney gets right underneath it and skies the shot on the volley from the angle, and it's a goal kick.
Well, McGregor doesn't look happy. Fantastic save from Cleverley. Gets his left hand out strong, pushes it round the corner for a corner. Januzaj doesn't hang about with the corner, puts it far post again. Poor marking. Wayne Rooney, inside the 6-yard box. Free volley, alright, can't hit the target. But Manchester United have stepped up a gear.
Charlton have equalised in the Championship at the Valley. It's 1-1 against Brighton. Laurie Wilson's got the equaliser. And in League 2, Newport County have taken the lead at Wickham. It is Wickham 0, Newport 1. That is a 12:30 kickoff. They're both 12:30 kickoff, those 2 matches. Hull City 2, Manchester United 1. And we're into the first of 10 hours of sport today on 5 Live, in this particular 5 Live sport programme. Don't worry, Chris, you're not required just to do the piece before 10 o'clock tonight. And we will have 4 commentaries here on 5 Live and another 2 on Sports Extra. And the first one to get underway on Sports Extra will be the 1 o'clock kickoff in the Championship between Watford and Millwall from Vicarage Road. But this is the Barclays Premier League. Hull City 2, Manchester United 1. I saw Richard Scudamore before the match just walking up to the ground to take his seat, the chief executive of the Premier League, and he'll be enjoying the product that is being produced so far between these 2 sides. Hull City with this excellent home record. That was only the 4th goal that they've conceded at home in the Premier League this season. Hull City, which is a tremendous record really for a team who's just come up to the top flight. And in actual fact, overall, with the scoreline as it is, Hull City overall in the Premier League now have a better defensive record than Manchester United. Hull City have let in 21 goals in the league this season. Manchester United have let in 22. 2-1 Hull City lead. Fletcher on the right. Hull City in their own defensive third. Januzaj dispossessed by Huddleston, who scrapes the ball away towards the halfway line. Evans just catches a little sunshine on his shoulder there, winter sunshine. And now Smalling works it to the right here. It's the Manchester United supporters that you can hear with their 12 Days of Christmas style song. Ryan Giggs is not involved actually today, but Michael Carrick is on the substitutes bench, as is Nemanja Vidic, but no involvement at all for Rio Ferdinand, who's in one or two headlines this morning in terms of his Manchester United future once his contract runs out at the end of this season. I'm sure we'll hear more from David Moyes on that after the match, but David Moyes has got his concentration fully occupied with what's happening here after Hull City were 2-0 up inside 13 minutes. Hull have a throw. El Mohammadi, the right wing back, up towards the halfway line. Evra, who is the team captain today, got a touch on that. It's another throw in nearer the halfway line, and Steve Bruce continues to pace around on the edge of his coaching area, way down below us, one of our higher commentary positions here at the KC Stadium that we have. Ball headed into the Manchester United half to Valencia, who's now at right back following the injury to Rafael. Valencia thinks about a little scamper forward, which he does, but Myler has gone with him, and still Valencia in possession, and the options are such that he plays it all the way back to Smalling inside his own half.
Well, it's very hard for Manchester United at the minute. Yes, they've got a lot of the football, but they just can't get forward because Hull have got basically 11 players behind the ball, and so far they're doing a great job.
Here's Rooney, ball comes down, oh, wonderful goal from Rooney to make it 2-2, a dropping volley.
Fighting Talk, 10th birthday edition.
I think we've got a listener on the line now. Is this Steve in Lichfield?
Yeah, hi Christian, and welcome and hello, and it's great to be talking to those four legends of Fighting Talk.
Yeah, I mean, it's all the best people we've ever had on this show.
Yeah, there's one or two of us missing out.
No, I don't think so.
Will Buckley's been seen in the area, you know, he's just Shepherd's Bush.
We turned up at the BBC to do a show hosted by Wogan. I promise you, we sat there, and at the point that they said, OK, we're on air in 30 seconds, he said, now then, what's all this about?
Fighting Talk, 10th birthday edition.
Saturday morning from 11
on BBC Radio 5 Live.
You're listening to BBC Radio 5 Live. This is 5 Live Sport on this Boxing Day afternoon. We are on air for 10 hours today. Apologies, we are having some technical difficulties at the KC Stadium at the moment, but we will be back to John Murray and the team there as soon as possible. We have 4 commentaries for you today, starting with Hull against Manchester United, as you've just been hearing. 2-2 there at the moment. It's at 3 o'clock. We've got West Ham versus Arsenal. Then it's Manchester City against Liverpool at 5:30, and finishing off as well with Nottingham Forest versus QPR in the Championship at 7:30. In between all of that, we'll be bringing you commentary from the feature race, William Hill's King George VI Chase at Kempton. That, of course, being billed as a wide opening running of what's also the Sports Mid-Season Championship. Cornelius Lysett is there for us. A number of other early kickoffs. We'll bring you all the updated scores from them as soon as possible. We're also going to be looking back on day 1 of the 4th Ashes Test in Melbourne. Despite that half century from Kevin Peterson earlier on, Australia have the upper hand again. England closing the day on 226 for 6. Ryan Harris and Mitchell Johnson both taking 2 wickets. We can hear it from Mark Pugac and Michael Vaughan at some point later on today. Test Match Special is back on air from 11 p.m. with ball-by-ball commentary on the second day of the 4th Ashes Test.
It's that time of year when the good doctor and myself lock ourselves in a room and rummage through the best bits of the year.
Kermode and Mayo's film review, best of 2013.
This Friday, you'll be able to hear the results. 2013 on the show featured a stellar cast, including Michael Douglas, Tom Hanks, Naomi Watts, and Dame Judi Dench.
Oh, she's very funny, by the way, which we ought not to leave out.
And the reviews include Gravity and Iron Man 3.
Kermode and Mayo's film review, best of 2013.
Buy your ticket.
Friday from 2.
Go on, do your thing. What? That thing you do.
On 5 Live.
And this is John Murray at the KC Stadium, where the score is Hull City 2, Manchester United 2. So previously on 5 Live, Wayne Rooney was just scoring to make it 2-2 and to bring Manchester United from 2-0 down to make it 2-2 here. And Chris Waddle was saying...
What a fantastic goal. Fantastic goal.
I'll tell you what he's saying in a moment. As you'll gather, we've got 1 or 2 technical issues here. But 2-2 is the score in a thrillingly entertaining Boxing Day match at the KC Stadium. So Hull City were 2-0 up inside 13 minutes, but by the 26th minute it was 2-2, and that is how it is. Wayne Rooney scoring, and here is Rooney again playing a brilliant ball to Young on the left-hand side. Young crosses right-footed, Rooney's inside the box. Well done, Curtis Davis, to get there and head it away, and it comes out to Sagbo, who just passes it away. And now Manchester United have got the fire in their belly. A great response from United, you would have to say as well, from the position that they were in. Here is Evra on the left-hand side, halfway inside the Hull City half. And now it's to Fletcher in the centre circle. And now it comes to Valencia on the right-hand side. Valencia down into the full-back position. Valencia takes on Davis, but just touched it on a little too far, and it runs through for a goal kick. Should we try again, Christopher?
Hello.
There you are. Right, carry on.
No, just going back with Rooney's goal, fantastic. But I've got to say, I feel like McGregor is in a lot of pain. He's not moving. He's a fantastic shot stopper. And that goal Wayne Rooney scored, which people see tonight on TV, and it's a wonderful strike, but I think a fit McGregor would get near that. He just can't move at the minute. He's struggling taking goal kicks. Stephen Harper's been warming up once or twice, and I think Steve Bruce is going to have to make a decision on it. But it's all Manchester United. They've worked out a whole lot playing, and they're getting a lot of joy down the flanks.
And that there as well, Chris, Rooney involved in that move, that pass to Young, and then finding himself in the 6-yard box where Davis beat him to the header. Rooney, who is now in this match alone, scored one and made one. Yeah, he's at the spearhead, isn't he? Even if he isn't, strictly speaking, at the spearhead of Manchester United's team. Well, Hull City have a ball back. Huddleston now up towards Sagbo. Sagbo turns, he has Danny Graham just ahead of him and to his right, but just holds it and uses Livermore now, 10 yards inside the United half. And now Livermore once again cleverly is there with him. Livermore takes it all the way back towards the halfway line and then back into his own half.
This is what Hull's got to do. They've got to get the ball into midfield. They've got to look after the ball, make Manchester United work. They're giving the ball back the last 10 minutes spell, 15 minutes. They've given the ball away so cheaply, Hull, and Manchester United have capitalised on it very well. At the minute, they've probably put about 15, 16 passes together, and that's what they've got to do. They've got to keep the ball with a system to play.
So on this hectic sporting Boxing Day, it is Hull City 2, Manchester United 2. In the Championship, both early games are underway. Watford are winning 1-0 against Millwall in what is the 5 Live Sports Extra commentary match. The informed Troy Deeney has scored for Watford, but they're down to 10 men. Danny Shittu has been sent off. If you remember, Watford have lost their last 5 home games, but winning 1-0 against Millwall. And it is still Charlton 1, Brighton 1 in the other early kickoff in the Championship. But we've already had 4 goals here. 4 goals in the first 26 minutes, and it's all square at 2-2, and it's been tremendous entertainment both on and off the pitch. Here's Smalling. Fletcher inside his own half, passes it through. Januzaj with a flick that was straight through to Davis, who then overhits the ball downfield, and De Gea will pick up easily. Just looking again at McGregor here, while the ball's with De Gea, McGregor is almost like a little jog that he's doing just to stretch himself and to see how he is. As you say, Chris, with someone of the experience and ability of Steve Harper on the substitutes bench, is it absolutely necessary to take the risk of leaving McGregor on the field?
Well, normally you give them 5-10 minutes and you say, is it getting worse, is it easing off? To me, it doesn't look like it's easing off. He's not moving freely at all.
Young tried to find Welbeck, who gave it away. Then Fletcher slides in on Huddleston. And then Myla is brushed by Valencia and goes down. The home supporters here are howling for a yellow card for Valencia. And now Rooney has gone over towards referee Oliver. Huddleston is there as well. And it will be a free kick only.
Well, that was strange, that, John, wasn't it? Look, he's getting his card out. 2 of the 3 players have a word with the referee, and he puts it back in his pocket.
Only a free kick. So Figueroa is going to take this. I'm feeling awful at the moment because of our little technical rejig. Producer stroke reporter Juliet is having to sit on the floor. Figueroa hits the free kick in towards the penalty area. It's headed down. Hull City still have it on the right hand side. Back it comes into the middle to Livermore. Livermore now to El Mohammadi on the right. El Mohammadi is up against Januzaj, who's over there. Goes round the outside. Januzaj goes to ground and catches El Mohammadi. Free kick. And is that... Now Rooney here has gone across because it looks as though Michael Oliver is going to yellow card. Januzaj is. And that has also been well received by the home supporters.
Well, it's strange, isn't it, how fans love to see people get a yellow or red card. It's amazing. It was a foul. He wasn't going anywhere. He was going to get the cross, I suppose, but it's a silly free kick to give away in a dangerous position.
And I think Rooney has gone across there very quickly just to point to the centre of the field. And I think he's suggesting it was Huddleston, wasn't it, who was involved in certainly one challenge that Manchester United felt might have been a yellow card and wasn't. So Rooney very forcibly making his point. Evra is the captain on the field. Free kick. Now the whole supporters feel that the one-man wall, Ashley Young, is not back the full 10 yards. Michael Oliver is satisfied. Huddleston with a free kick, drives it in, just blasted it past Young, and it was blocked by Fletcher in the 6-yard box. Then played back in, and Rooney's there to dive and head it away as he flung himself forward and out of play for a throw-in to the home side, 10 yards inside the Manchester United half.
It was a good free kick idea anyway by Huddleston. As you said, the first man cleared it. Low and hard drive. Everybody's waiting for that little clip to the far post.
Throw-in taken. Sagbo flicks it on into the area. Headed away by Smalling. And it comes out for Welbeck. And then there's Rooney, who seems to be everywhere. Since United started the recovery, Rooney has been so heavily involved. And that, incidentally, is Rooney's 150th league goal for Manchester United. If you're one of those people who like records that only relate to the Premier League, i.e. only the last 20 years or so, he is the second player to reach 150 goals for a single club in what they call the entire history of the Premier League. And that's behind Thierry Henry. I prefer to call it his 150th league goal for Manchester United. Here's El Mohammadi now, who hits it long into the United half. Ashley Young, then back to Evra, who was caught there by El Mohammadi. A little bit of writhing around, but a free kick it is to Hull, to Manchester United for that challenge, which they take back into their own half. And now Fletcher receives possession. It's all quietened down a little bit, Chris, since the dramatic comeback.
It's levelled off a little bit now. Manchester United seem to me just still in control of the ball. They're dictating the pace, the tempo of the game. Hull get a lot of people behind the ball. Hard to play against when you get 10, 11 players basically on the halfway line behind, and Manchester United have got to keep switching this play and trying to get the full-backs in. That's where you're going to get your joy.
Hull City 2, Manchester United 2 on BBC 5 Live, with all of the 3 o'clock action to come and beyond, including Manchester City Liverpool. Here's Januzaj, tries a shot on the edge of the area. It was blocked by Bruce, and Bruce does well to stand up and come out with the ball, and Hull are able to get it away up towards the halfway line. Yeah, we have commentary on West Ham against Arsenal. Arsenal level with points on points with Liverpool. Oh, McGregor sliced his clearance there, and Bruce had to head it away with Young sprinting in. But El Mohammadi now to the halfway line, but then checks back and gives it to Chester. James Chester, the man who started the scoring. Then Huddleston's ball through the middle will bounce through to De Gea. So 2-2 here at the KC Stadium. Then West Ham against Arsenal from 3 o'clock. John Hartson and Ian Dennis will be in place to bring you commentary on that. But 8 3 o'clock kickoffs in the Premier League today. Here come Hull City on the right with El Mohammadi. Ball swirled in towards the edge of the box. Johnny Evans takes it down and is able just to pass it away up towards Welbeck. And after West Ham Arsenal, next stop Manchester City Liverpool at 5:30 with Jimmy Armfield and Alan Green. Here's Welbeck to Januzaj, the substitute. Came on for Raphael. Feeling is that he had a groin problem, Raphael. Valencia now, who's taken over at right back. Infield towards Fletcher. This is inside the Hull half. And now Evra, Rooney, 35 yards from goal. Rooney just rides the challenge from Myler. Manchester United keeping the ball a great deal better now. More in control, you would say, having come from 2-0 down. Welbeck now back to Evra. right for the ball into the penalty area that is scooped. It was Young's cross from the left-hand side, and it's scooped up by McGregor, who again looks rather uncomfortable there.
No, he's definitely not happy, you can see that, but good play by Manchester United, switching the play when they have to and looking after the ball, playing a good tempo at the minute, Manchester United, and Hull, give them credit, are getting behind the ball and frustrating this team. Dream start by Hull City, but Manchester United have just basically got on top, and they're definitely the team on the front foot at the minute.
2-2 the score, and Hull City again come forward. Huddleston pings a pass out towards El Mohammadi, then Livermore gets a touch. They really do look bright, Livermore and Huddleston, and Myler for that matter today as well. Here he is on the right, Myler, but good challenge from Ashley Young, and ball played forward by Cleverley, which is asking a lot of Young, and he's not able to reach it. That runs out of play for a throw into Hull City. Incidentally, the fourth of the four commentaries that I've referred to is the evening match in the Championship between Nottingham Forest and QPR, when Steve Claridge and Conor McNamara will have that later start than we did on Boxing Day today, to bring you the commentary from the City ground from 7:30. But it is also a great day's racing at Kempton today, the King George Day. We'll have 3 commentary races, including the King George itself, which is at 3:10. I think we'll have 2 commentaries during the course of the second half here. But 2-2 the score on 5 Live. Here's Myler deep inside his own half, fouled by Valencia, and a free kick to Hull. But and Huddleston just standing with his palms apart there to referee Oliver. So that little conversation continues between both sets of players to the referee. We've so far seen 2 yellow cards, Figueroa for Hull and Januzaj for Manchester United. Free kick then, Figueroa to take this, and he hits it high and long down the middle towards the edge of the penalty area. Headed away on the edge of the box, Evra then reaches it and thumps it left-footed into the centre circle. Rooney challenging with Davis. Ball comes back to Rooney, flicks it off beautifully to Welbeck. Welbeck goes around the first challenge but not the second. And then Bruce, having made an excellent challenge, takes the ball as well from Cleverley, and it's Hull City who come forward after that double tackle from Bruce, and Graham hits a shot which is deflected and drops onto the roof of De Gea's net.
Well, that would have been 2 own goals for Johnny Evans, wouldn't it? A deflection there. What 2 fantastic tackles by Bruce. Fantastic first one. The second one, he goes straight through, wins the ball cleanly through. Cleverley as well takes the lot, and wonderful challenges.
It was actually, it could have been Steve Bruce, couldn't it? Those 2 challenges really brought it to mind, the way that he went in for that. Right, corner to Hull City then from the left. Are we going to see a strong finish to the half from Hull after their 2-goal opening to the match? Huddleston to take it. The score is 2-2, and Huddleston waiting. Steve Bruce, now look what you've started. Huddleston takes the corner towards the back post, and it's headed away by Smalling. It comes out to Figueroa, takes it down with his left foot. Figueroa, little ball to Livermore. Alex Bruce has now made his way back towards the halfway line, looking a little bit like the cat that got the cream. Here's the cross for Hull into the penalty area. Now Sagbo went down. It was Evans, I think, they were suggesting perhaps just got a little contact on him. The ball was headed away by Smalling, but in actual fact the Hull City players made no representation to the referee at all. It was the supporters who made much more of that. So 2-2 the score. It's been compelling stuff as Cleverley plays the ball over the top, and it just had too much on it from inside his own half, looking for the run through Rooney through the middle.
There's a good ball. You don't see Cleverley doing enough of that for me. I think he has got the ability. I think it's a confidence thing with him. He's obviously been brought up to look after the ball, but he's a regular now in the team, and he's got to now start looking at that, because that's what Manchester United need, creative midfield players. And another silly free kick which the Hull fans are not happy about, but we've seen a lot of niggly free kicks and a lot of words with the referees in it from certain players. And
yes, there's been a lot of niggliness, but there's been a lot of good stuff as well. 1 or 2 mistakes as well, and 4 goals so far, 2 each. Here's Rooney inside the penalty area as Manchester United look to get in front for the first time in the game as we head towards half-time. And Valencia dispossessed. Excellent work from Hull City, and then it's swept away downfield for Sagbo to chase, but Johnny Evans is there, and a little touch back to De Gea. So the way the scoring has gone, if you've just joined us on 5 Live in this Boxing Day afternoon, Hull City were 2-0 up inside 13 minutes. James Chester put them in front in the 4th minute following a corner. James Chester against the club where he was at the academy joined Manchester United as an 8-year-old, scored against them today. The second one, Chris reckons it was a Johnny Evans own goal. David Myler shot, touched past De Gea by Johnny Evans's right boot, deflected into the back of the net. So that was 2-0 Hull City. But Manchester United coming back to make it 2-2 through Chris Smalling's header from a Rooney free kick, and from Wayne Rooney himself with a dropping volley from 25 yards. It's Torquay 1, Bristol Rovers 1 in one of the early kickoffs in League 2. Torquay 1, Bristol Rovers 1. We'll round up all of the scores for you in the early matches with Mark Chapman, who's at the Cardiff City Stadium this afternoon. We're in the last minute of the first half. Sagbo's being sandwiched between Cleverley and Valencia, and it's a free kick to Hull City on the halfway line.
Seems to be a lot of niggle between these two sets of players, doesn't it? I don't know what it is. Normally players get up and accept it was a foul and pat on the back or high five, whatever they do, but they just seem to be at each other all the time, these two.
I think it's just escalated during the course of the 45 minutes, hasn't it? As this weak sunshine continues to light up the KC Stadium on this winter's day. Free kick, Figueroa takes it to the edge of the area, headed away by Evans, who then urges the defence out. Huddleston has a lot of space just forward of the centre circle. Huddleston clips it over the top but overhits it through for a goal kick, and we should see the fourth official very shortly walking towards the edge of the pitch. There he is, and he'll hold up his board and show us that 3 minutes of time will be added on, and much of that is because of the treatment that has been administered to the Hull goalkeeper Alan McGregor. So Steve Bruce just exchanging a word with Steve Agnew, one of his coaching staff. Steve Bruce, who has never been on the winning side as a manager against his old club Manchester United in 18 previous attempts. And when he was 2-0 up here, he was thinking, today might be the day.
He would listen, he'd take the 2-2 now.
You would?
I'm telling you, if you said it half time, he'd be 2-2, he'd be delighted. But he'd be disappointed. Listen, second goal, Rooney, fantastic volley. I think if Fit McGregor would have got a lot closer to it, but first goal, poor goal to give away, set piece.
Forestieri has put Watford 2-0 up on Millwall. Watford 2, Millwall 0. You can hear that on 5 Live Sports Extra via your brand new smartphone or your brand new digital radio or your brand new Android device or whatever you got that was brand new yesterday via the iPlayer radio or the BBC Sport app. If you haven't used it with your new device, have a little tinker on this afternoon and see what you can find. And Juliet, almost in the old-fashioned style of British entertaining, demonstrates one to my left. Here is Evra now for Manchester United. Rooney passes the ball out towards the right-hand side to Valencia. Valencia now goes around the outside of Myler, who recovers well actually and sticks a leg out, and the ball loops away and out of play next to the corner flag for a throw-in to Manchester United. First half almost over. It is Hull City 2, Manchester United 2. A couple of Hull City supporters in their black and amber scarves make their way down the steps. United take the throw. Januzaj's onto it, shoots, and it was blocked by the right thigh of Davis and out of play for a throw-in near the halfway line. Speaking of people on television with assistants, I have to say one of my Christmas highlights that came about 10 days before the big day itself was watching on some channel or other, the Fanny Craddock Christmas special. It was extraordinary entertainment. Ball played forward towards Januzaj, and then Fletcher with a touch. Welbeck clears it. Fletcher again, trying to find Welbeck down the right. Welbeck just holding off the challenge from Figueroa. And Welbeck still with it, and then across comes Myler again. He's covered a lot of ground in the first half, David Myler, even though you took his goal off him. Throw in, 10 yards away from the corner flag. Valencia back to from Welbeck to Valencia. Myler did score though, didn't he, in the win against Liverpool here. And there's the half-time whistle, and it's been good fun, hasn't it, Chris? 2-2.
Excellent game. Great start by Hull City. Really caught United cold, and they got 2 goals up front, but you can't write United's team off. Team in form. All right, they've sorted the back outline at the minute, but David Moyes will not be happy with a few things defensively. Going forward, they've got a lot of movement ahead of them now. The 2 wide men are cutting inside a lot, and there's a lot of space for the full-backs. And Manchester United, you've got to say, the last 15, 20 minutes, maybe half hour, they've dominated this game.
Yep, half-time here, Hull City 2, Manchester United 2, and it's back to Cardiff and Mark Chapman.
Yes, Vincent Tan was just in the director's box to my left a few moments ago. We'll get the thoughts of the Cardiff City fans very shortly during 5 Live Sport. And while we come to terms with the news that in the 21st century John Murray spent his Christmas day watching a Fanny Craddock cookery special, I'll give you the latest scores, because there are plenty of games going on this afternoon. Half-time at the Valley, Charlton without a win in 5-1, Brighton 1. They've just passed the half-hour mark at Vicarage Road in the Championship. It's Watford 2, Millwall 0. Millwall down to 10 men in that game. Danny Shitu sent off. Troy Deeney scored the result in penalty, 11 for the season for him. Fernando Forestieri getting the second. 15 minutes from full time in the game between Coventry and Peterborough. 2 goals for Liam Clark in this game, 17 for the season. It's Coventry 2, Peterborough 2. It's Brentford 1, Swindon 1. That's at half time. They've played 36 minutes at Brunton Park, and it's Carlisle 0, Preston 0, and it's Gillingham 1, Leyton Orient 0. Just 3 minutes gone there, and the League One leaders are behind. In League Two, Wycombe 0, Newport 1, Portsmouth 0, Dagenham and Redbridge 0. They've played 30 minutes in that game, and also they're 10 minutes before half-time in the derby between Torquay and Bristol Rovers, and that's at 1-1. In the Conference Premier, 15 minutes from the end in this game, and the leaders Cambridge are ahead. Cambridge 1, Braintree 0. Dartford 1, Welling 0, just into the second half there. Half-time in the game between Tamworth and Nuneaton, and it's Tamworth 1, Nuneaton 0. And 15 minutes from half-time at the game between Lincoln and Grimsby, and it's Lincoln 0, Grimsby 1. So you're up to date with all the goals. The first of our 4 commentary games on 5 Live this afternoon is Hull 2, Manchester United 2. The second half on the way. During half-time, we'll hear from those Cardiff fans who've been protesting here at the Cardiff City Stadium, and we'll also get the thoughts of Jeffrey Boycott after the first day of the 4th test. I wonder who'll be angrier. First, Faye Carruthers and the BBC News.
On digital radio, digital TV, mobile and online.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
The Environment Agency's warning of further significant flooding in parts of southern England, with more heavy rain and high winds forecast across the UK tonight and tomorrow. Around 13,000 homes are still without power. The funeral's been taking place in London of the British doctor Abbas Khan, who died while being held in custody in Syria. The Syrian government claims he took his own life. His family say he was murdered. Our reporter Susanna Mendonça is there.
We've heard from the solicitor who represents the family, Nabil Sheikh, who came out shortly before the funeral prayers began here, and he told us that an inquest into Dr. Abbas Khan's death will open formally tomorrow.
A man's died after being shot at a nightclub in London's West End. It happened in the early hours of this morning at the Avalon Club in Shaftesbury Avenue. A man's been arrested. A woman's been remanded in custody after appearing before magistrates charged with murder. The body of 42-year-old Peter Davigan was discovered at a flat in Stoke-on-Trent earlier this week. 40-year-old Samantha Adeokan will appear in Crown Court on Monday. Officials in Egypt say 5 people have been injured after a bomb exploded in the capital Cairo as a bus was passing by. The government's blamed the Muslim Brotherhood, but it's denied any involvement. Orna's here now with the travel.
Thanks, Faye. And in Cheshire, the M6 heading north. One of the lanes has been closed to deal with an accident. It's around junction 16 at Crewe. And in the West Midlands, the M5 still the same, no change. Junction 2 at Oldbury to junction 1 at West Bromwich. Barrier repairs are underway following an accident from earlier. Northbound, 1 lane is closed. On the southbound side, 2 lanes are closed along the same stretch. And in Hampshire, the M3, several vehicles have been involved in an accident. It happened on the northbound side around junction 12 at Eastleigh, with 1 lane closed for recovery. And looking at the M25, we've got long delays on the M25. The good news, no accidents or incidents, but slow traffic on the anti-clockwise side, starting from the M1 at junction 21, going on towards Watford at 19, and then again at Maple Cross towards the M3 at junction 12, and Leatherhead at junction 9 through to Godstone, and that's where the roadworks traffic are at junction 6. And quite a few A roads still closed, all because of the recent weather conditions, mainly affecting the southwest of England and the southeast of England. In particular, the A245 in Byfleet in Surrey, Parvis Road is closed. And in Kent, the A229 Fair Meadow is closed in both directions. Dorset, the A350 is also closed, and that's because of flooding near Newton Road. And in Merthyr Tydfil, the A470 is being closed because of an accident. That's near the Cyfarthfa Park roundabout. Orna Merchant, 5 Live Travel.
One of the great things about 5 Live is the range of subjects and topics that we cover.
Whether it's the best live sport,
right-footed breakthrough for the league leaders,
or breaking news.
Right, this breaking news this morning.
You'll hear a cross-section of voices, opinion and analysis.
Using the BBC iPlayer radio app, you can listen live, catch up or download podcasts whenever you want on your smartphone and tablet.
What do I do with it? I've never had one of these.
To find out more and to learn about all the ways you can listen digitally,
go to the 5 Live website, bbc.co.uk/5 Live, where you'll also find our terms of use.
The BBC iPlayer radio app.
bbc.co.uk/5 Live.
Good afternoon, this is 5 Live Sports. I'm Mark Chapman. We're coming live from the Cardiff City Stadium this afternoon. Cardiff against Southampton is a 3 o'clock kick-off. We'll talk to some protesting Cardiff fans very shortly. We've got 3 Premier League commentary games this afternoon as well. At 5:30, Manchester City, Liverpool. At 3 o'clock, we'll be at Upton Park for West Ham against Arsenal. And in our 12:45 game at half-time, it is Hull City 2, Manchester United 2. Let's focus on the cricket for the next couple of minutes. A knock of 67 not out from Kevin Pietersen helped England to 226 for 6 on day 1 of the 4th Ashes Test in Melbourne. Pietersen, who has been criticised, of course, for failing to adapt his aggressive style, batted in an unusually conservative manner, and Geoffrey Boycott told Jonathan Agnew that he's proved he can play patiently.
It puts to rest all the nonsense he said, that he can't play any different. This is the way I play, playing shots and getting out 4 out of 6 with daft, idiotic shots in the other 3 tests. He actually damns himself, doesn't he?
Yes, well, he certainly can.
He can put his head down as good as anybody, because that's how good a player I think he is, and I've always said he is. What I've said is sometimes he plays without his brain. We're not short of talent. I love his batting at times, and other times I despair. But he tried like hell today with lots of character, so don't let anybody criticise him. He didn't make any false shots, didn't do any daft things. He stayed there. And really, if you look at that scoreboard, how many other England players? 27 Cook, 38 Carberry, 24 Root, Bell, 27, none of them. He went on and got the only 50, didn't he? And he's not out as well.
They all got in, is what you're saying, and then they got out again.
Which is what's been happening through the series. Either they played daft shots or got out. The poorest cricket for England were the 3 youngsters. Roots was one of the scratchiest, worst innings I've seen from him. He played and missed that many balls. I didn't think I played and missed that many in a month. And then Stokes, he was knocked over by pace. And then Johnny Bairstow, footwork again. He left a gate between bat and pad that my car could have driven through.
You can download the whole of Aggers and Boycott from the 5 Live website, and ball-by-ball commentary from 11 o'clock on Test Match Special on 5 Live Sports Extra on day 2. For the first time this afternoon, commentary ahead against Peterborough in League One. Frank Musa with 10 minutes to go, and it is Coventry 3, Peterborough 2, and in the conference it's Lincoln 0, Grimsby 2, just 5 minutes before half-time in that game. Now it's Jump Racing's King George Day at Kempton. If we want a tip, we appear to have plenty of fancied horses from which to choose. Cornelius Lyson.
Yeah, 9 runners in all chasing a first prize year of just under £114,000, and all the prestige associated with the King George, won by some of steeplechasing's greats: Corto Star, Desert Orchid, Best Mate, One Man, Wayward Lad, Captain Christie, Pendle, Arkle, Millhouse. The list goes on, and 4 of them are disputing favouritism. They are Alpha Off, Q Card, Dinast and Silviniaco Conti, all at around 4 to 192. I think if you shop around, you can find a bookmaker making all of those favourite one way or another. Long Run at 9 to 1 comes next in the betting, looking for a third King George. Then Mount Ben Bulben from Ireland and Minora. The race at 3:10 in front of a packed house here at Kempton, and miracle of miracles, Mark, the sun came out a few minutes ago.
Thank you very much, Cornelius. In League One, just on the stroke of half-time, Preston have taken the lead at Carlisle. Josh Brownhill with that goal. Carlisle 0, Preston 1. You would expect Carlisle to equalise in that game because the last 3 meetings between those two teams have ended in 1-1 draws. We're based at the Cardiff City Stadium this afternoon. Cardiff against Southampton is a 3 o'clock kick-off. Around 10 past 12 today, we saw Malky Mackay walk down the tunnel down below as he was looking very relaxed in his dark suit and official club tie. Just to our left a few moments ago, we saw the owner, Vincent Tan, in the director's box with his suit on, but with his red Cardiff City shirt underneath it, sunglasses on as well. He was alone on his phone with a couple of his team stood at a safe distance from him. That's what's been going on inside the ground. Outside, though, there have been fans who have been protesting. We can get a view from out there now from our reporter John Akers.
So there are about 400 or 500 people, maybe more. There are more joining all the time outside the Superstore and the players' entrance right now. Many of them holding banners aloft. We don't want tan, says the banner just in front of me. Malky all the way, Blue Army. There's not a hint of red about, I have to tell you that. Everyone here dressed in red. The only red I've seen is a red scarf being thrown towards the entrance of the football club. Well, Anis Abrahams is a local supporter, 41 years a season ticket holder. What's the reason you're protesting here today?
I'm here for Malky, but I'm also here for identity. I'm here for both. I've been going 41 years and I'm proud of being blue. He should never have stripped of us. Now he's getting worse. Now he's messing with manager. A manager who's brought us the greatest glory we've ever had. A manager we connect with. A manager we're close to. But like these fans are singing, we're blue. We're proud of being blue. And this man is stripping us.
The manager himself obviously has reacted badly to the email that was sent last week. What did you make of that whole thing?
A disgrace, because to send a manager, tell him to quit or be sacked, it shows what a lunatic we've got running the club. You don't do that to a manager. You do the things he's been going all the time. He even ignored us after we beat Swansea. When they said congratulate Malky Mackay, wouldn't even congratulate Malky Mackay after we beat Swansea City. What owner does that? What owner doesn't speak to his manager for 3 months now? 3 months he's turned his back on the manager.
The danger is if Vincent Tan pulls his money out, of which he's put a lot in, you could be left with no club at all, or you could be left in a Portsmouth-Leeds sort of situation.
The money's in. He can't pull it out. Where can he take it? Where can he take the money? The ground is owned by the council. He can't pull it out. If he pulls it out, so what? We'll be proud. I'll tell you straight, I'd rather watch Cardiff City in the lower divisions and be proud and have our thing. We're Welsh, we're blue, right? We're not Malaysia FC, we're Cardiff City. I've had 9 years in the 4th division. Don't get me wrong, I'm loving the Premier League, but if I had to go back to those days to get our pride back, so be it.
And how do you see all this turning out?
The fans are going to get stronger and stronger. I don't see Vincent Tan staying forever. Now I see him actually wanting to go eventually. And I hopefully, now that we're here up there and the money that'll come in over the next few years, someone else buys us out.
And can your manager survive, do you think?
No, he won't survive. There's only one winner, isn't there, with him, the owner. Fans' power can survive against Tan, and we can overthrow Tan, but the manager, sadly, I know so much in behind the scenes. Tan wants Malky gone beyond. There's no way they'll get back together.
It's John Akers with the fans outside the Cardiff City Stadium. 3 o'clock kick-off here between Cardiff and Southampton. Our base from 3 o'clock, though, is West Ham against Arsenal with John Hartson and our senior football reporter Ian Dennis. Ian, I'll start with you. Arsenal would expect to get the 3 points here and get themselves, get themselves back in form after a defeat at City and a draw with Chelsea, but a draw with Chelsea doesn't mean they're out of form necessarily.
No, I know the point you're making. I mean, it's 4 games.
I'm not sure I did.
It's 4 games without a win in all competitions for Arsenal, but I think it's going to be a balancing act for Arsene Wenger today, who incidentally has an excellent record on Boxing Day. In his time as Arsenal's manager, he's only lost once on Boxing Day, and that was against Coventry back in 1999. But I think today it's all about the 3 points for Arsenal to get back on track in the title race. But it's a balancing act because they've got Newcastle on the 29th. And so he talks about either resting Ozil or Giroud. Rosicky, I understand, is not going to play. Koscielny might not necessarily be ready to return as well. and they always get a tough game at St James's Park, as most teams do, and I think that's what's going to be weighing in Arsene Wenger's thinking in terms of team selection.
Nicky Ajose's 10th of the season means Swindon have regained the lead at Griffin Park. Brentford 1, Swindon 2 in League One, and Charlton have just taken the lead against Brighton and Hove Albion. Laurie Wilson has got that, his second of the afternoon. Charlton 2, Brighton and Hove Albion 1. John Hartson, both of these clubs are obviously your former clubs. As regards West Ham, are they in a relegation battle for you?
Yes, they are, Mark. They have to be. You know, they're 1 point above Crystal Palace from the relegation zone. West Ham 14, Palace on 13, third from bottom. And they've got to start winning, West Ham, you know, and particularly here at home where they are pretty strong. I know it's a very difficult game today, Arsenal, who are playing themselves to stay in the title race. But definitely they also play West Brom here on the 28th, and then they go to Fulham away on New Year's Day. So there are teams in and around West Ham, so I think the next 2 or 3 games are vital for where they finish.
Thank you very much. Back with John and Ian. That's our base from 3 o'clock. Half-time whistle has gone at Plainmoor in League 2, and it's Torquay 1, Bristol Rovers 1. They're on a good run of form at Torquay. They've won their last 2. Let's return to our first commentary of the day then. Hull against Manchester United, 2-2 at half-time. Chris Waddle and John Murray.
Yes, really enjoyable entertainment here at the KC Stadium as the second half gets underway. Manchester United all in white, getting the second period underway, and Johnny Evans immediately playing the ball forward to Welbeck. Rooney heads it, aiming for Welbeck on the edge of the area, but just nicked away by Bruce and then taken away by Figueroa, although Januzaj and Valencia combine to dispossess him, and they've played the ball out off Figueroa, and so it's a throw-in to Manchester United. Yep, 2-2 the score. Hull City were 2-0 up early on, and Manchester United came back to level with Rooney scoring one and setting the other up from a free kick for Smalling. So the other significant news that you need to know is that Steve Bruce, the Hull City manager, has made a double substitution at half-time. Alan McGregor made it to the break, but no further after the knock that he took in the first half. So Steve Harper is on, and the other change is in midfield, where David Myler did well in the first period, has been replaced by Robert Corrin. He is cleverly bringing it forward for Manchester United. Rooney now with his back to goal, little touch to Evra. Rooney once again in possession, black gloves on, turns, shoots, but it's blocked by Livermore, and the deflection took it to Hull City's on-loan striker Danny Graham, who's on loan from Sunderland. And then Livermore, with a poor touch in centre field, presents the ball back to Manchester United. So the whole team now, Harper in goal, 3 central defenders, Chester, Bruce and Davis, El Mohammadi and Figueroa, the wing backs, as Welbeck now carries the ball forward towards the edge of the Hull penalty area, stabs it to Young, Ashley Young, who's looking for Evra on the overlap, but Young goes infield and then miss hits it terribly, and then kicks the ground underneath his right foot, but just ballooned it away beyond everyone and through for a goal kick. So to complete that Hull City lineup, so it is now Livermore, Huddleston and Corrin in midfield, with Sagbo and Graham up front, and Manchester United, who had to make a change of their own in the first half. Raphael going off with what looked like a groin problem, Januzaj coming on as a substitute. Manchester United with Valencia, Smalling, Evans and Evra, the back four in front of De Gea, Cleverley and Fletcher, Januzaj, Rooney, Young and Welbeck. And Chris Waddle is here with us at the KC Stadium, and we'll get a first word in the second half from Chris in just a moment. But Januzaj playing it to Rooney, angled ball back, Januzaj on his left foot, and Bruce went to ground and made a good challenge, saw the ball and took it with that challenge out for a throw into Manchester United on the right, who are looking purposeful again, United. Januzaj tries to turn his man and is adjudged to have fouled Davis, so a free kick for Hull City given by Michael Oliver, which is warmly approved of. So, Chris Waddle.
I'm trying to work out Hull's system. I think because he's made the changes. All right, Stephen Harper, we know, is in goal. It looks to me like it's a 5 along the back. It's not a 3 really anymore. Al-Hamadi's trying to push on the right. He's trying to play a narrow 4 with Figueroa. And Al-Hamadi, I suppose, is trying to play a little bit higher right-hand side. But the balance of the side looks really strange. Hull's second half.
So here is Bruce playing it away for Hull City, and he gets it back in front of his own penalty area. It's now Brentford 2, Swindon 2, after Swindon led briefly, so Brentford 2, Swindon 2 in League 1. Portsmouth have taken the lead against Dagenham and Redbridge in League 2. Portsmouth 1, Dagenham and Redbridge 0. And Coventry now 4-2 up on Peterborough. 2-2 here in the Barclays Premier League in the early kick-off in the KC Stadium. And Darren Fletcher, who's starting a match for Manchester United for the first time for over a year. Fletcher's crossfield pass is cut out. Sagbo now carrying it forward. Strong, but just crowded out really by white shirts of Manchester United, who have it with Welbeck. Welbeck to his right to Cleverley, and Cleverley sees Januzaj right out on the far side. Januzaj now up against Figueroa and Corrin. Little ball to Fletcher, then Fletcher economically back out to the right to Valencia, who's now coming forward from his right back position. Valencia to Fletcher, now Welbeck 30 yards out. Rooney's there as well. Manchester United dominating the possession in these early stages of the second half, and Rooney actually carrying it all the way back almost into his own half. Smalling has it, now Fletcher. Rooney drops very deep again into the centre circle. Rooney, Huddleston goes with him. Fletcher just touches it off. Cleverly then, Rooney back out to Valencia, who flipped it around Figueroa. Januzaj came to join in, and Januzaj wins the free kick. Wasn't too much contact on him as Davis came in, but that contact took him down, and it's a free kick.
Well, it's very harsh. I mean, he did slightly catch him, but he's went down very easy. But you're just going to see Hull sit back. They're playing basically back five, one up front, and they're playing very deep, and they're just saying to Man United, come and see if you can beat. We may catch on the break, but that's the game plan. They're just defending now, and Hull would definitely take the point given now.
There's quite a lot of discussion, wasn't there, after Manchester United's last game about Januzaj's dive, the home match against West Ham, and I was told that David Moyes said after that match that he would speak to Januzaj about the issue of diving, as he said earlier in the season that he would speak to Ashley Young about it. I think there was contact there, but not much. Here's Fletcher to Cleverley, driving into the full-back position, pulls the ball across low. Davis only half cleared it, might have struck the arm of Januzaj. It did, so it's a free kick to Hull City inside their own penalty area. But as I said last time I was with you Chris, at Old Trafford when we were there for the Newcastle match, you know, it really doesn't take much more than a breath of wind to take Januzaj down, does it? He just seems to be a player like that.
I don't know why these players, they get reputations. Ashley Young's got it, you know that. As soon as he gets the ball, the crowd have started booing here, and he's got this reputation, it'll stick. But I don't know why they want to throw themselves to go. Listen, if you can see the intent coming, rightly so, you get out of the way and you have to go down. But some of the way that these guys fall down now, it's not. I just don't think. I don't see what goes through their heads.
2-2 the score on 5 Live, our first of 4 commentaries today. Here's Graham now bringing it forward. Sagbo with a shot straight at De Gea. It was straight between the eyes of the Manchester United goalkeeper, and he held up his fists and just punched it away in the way that many goalkeepers do in this current era. Corrin now to the left-hand side, and Figueroa plays it through into the path of Corrin, who took it on. Livermore was out there on the left-hand side, and eventually it deflects out of play for a throw-in to Hull City off Cleverley. Be taken by Figueroa, just about 10 yards back from the corner flag on the far side of the KC Stadium, with the atmosphere swirling around the ground, the home supporters responding to the Manchester United fans, and the throw-in is taken for Hull City. Comes back to Sagbo, plays it into the penalty area, not back. Huddleston, left foot shot, took a deflection off Smalling on the edge of the box, and that carried it higher and wider of the goal and behind for a set piece to the home team.
Well, it'll give the defence a little bit of a breather, won't it? Tom Huddleston, good shot with his left foot, deflected to slow the game down. It's nice for Hull actually to get round the Manchester United penalty box for a change.
Yes, it is. Remember, Hull City scored the opening goal from a corner early on in the first half. Huddleston plays this in, glancing header. It was Davis who was there for Hull, but the defender went with him, Smalling. But the final touch was off Davis, which took it right across the face of goal and beyond the far post for a goal kick.
Well, I've got to say, John, he's got to score. He's got the run on him, he's got the yard, the ball's perfect delivery from Tom Huddleston. Just head it, just let the pace take it onto target and you've scored. He's glanced it, it's gone wide.
So it remains Hull City 2, Manchester United 2. Chris Waddle with us, once the third most expensive footballer on the planet. That's my new old fact about you. After you told me that in Italy, I couldn't get over it. Here's Rooney to Young on the right-hand side. Young's ball across, but no one in there for Manchester United in the 6-yard box at least. Welbeck tried to get there, but El Mohammadi at the back post turned it behind for a corner to Manchester United. So the Hull City defence didn't last long, Chris. They're back under pressure again. And it's a corner for the visitors, the champions, Manchester United, who've won their last 4 matches in all competitions, in which time they've won their Champions League group and also reached the semi-finals of the League Cup. Here it is, the corner to the near post, where it is headed away by El Mohammadi. Rooney's corner it was, swirled in. Valencia now to the right-hand side to Young. Young's up against Figueroa, drops a shoulder, and Valencia on the overlap. Young gives it to him. Valencia's cross, it's missed. It reaches Smalling. Smalling backheels it, and he backheels it straight to El Mohammadi, who's able to control it and swipe it downfield to the halfway line. 2-2 remains the score. David Moyes urging his team on towards a 5th consecutive victory. And if they did win it, Manchester United, believe it or not, they would be just 5 points behind the leaders, Liverpool, and Arsenal, of course, as well, who are level on points currently with Liverpool at the top of the table. Really looking forward to listening to Manchester City against Liverpool on the way home. 5:30 kick-off. You'll hear that with Alan Green and Jimmy Armfield. But Manchester United trying to edge closer to Liverpool, but Rooney dispossessed, and so Hull City in the black and amber. I think Alex Bruce might have just been caught there by Tom Cleverley, but no free kick given. Michael Oliver, I don't know whether he decided yes, he did give the free kick to Hull City, so Steve Harper walks forward to take it.
It's astonishing how many players, it's the same players as well, basically run the referee on every decision, whether it's say don't book him, you've got it wrong, just let him do his job. Really, the referee should say, look, if you come to me one more time, you're getting the card, because I'm sick of you telling me how to do my job.
Don't know if this is reflecting a bit of a lack of confidence in the decision making, or whether they're just trying to take advantage. Ball played across the edge of the United box, and it's turned by Smalling with his head back to goalkeeper De Gea. Vidic is on the substitutes bench for Manchester United, but no sign of Rio Ferdinand. So Smalling and Evans seem, for whatever reason, to be pretty much the preferred pair at the moment. You know, Vidic and Ferdinand, their recent fitness record, it really means, Chris, that David Moyes cannot be sure, it seems, at the moment. Oh, cleverly there, that was a little spicy tackle from Livermore, but Manchester United still with it, so forward it goes from Fletcher out towards this side of the field, and the referee is just going to call across Livermore, I take it, for that challenge. Yes, he is. Livermore is referee's just waited until the ball went out of play there, and Curtis Davis has also come across to speak to the referee in his role as the Hull City captain, and it's just another ticking off for Livermore.
I think Livermore said something on the way past the referee, though.
Right. Throwing to Manchester United. It's Hull City 2, Manchester United 2, after Hull led 2-0 inside 13 minutes. Fletcher is on his right foot, but showed too much of it surely, but does still get the shot in, but it's straight at the relatively newly arrived Steve Harper. Unflappable Steve Harper, 38 years old, and he just walks forward with Rooney in front of him, and Harper delivers it high into the Manchester United half. Evra got a touch, but it came forward off El Mohammadi, and then Graham wins a throw-in level with the edge of the United penalty area. In fact, Evra has stayed down after that challenge from El Mohammadi, so it will be a throw-in to Hull, but referee Oliver is just having to come and see if Evra needs some attention, which he does. So there'll be another little stoppage here, Chris.
I just saw David Moyes tell Hernandez to get warmed up, and sort of had a word with him, and he's really sort of warming up very quickly. I wonder if he's going to change it. David Moyes, he's got to realise he'll know that he's got to win this game. These are the games you've got to win if you want to put pressure on the top. And terrible start, got themselves back into it, but saying that, give Hull credit, they've not really looked like scoring Manchester United for all the dominated possession.
No, Evra is hobbling He's obviously got to come off the field before he comes back on, as it is. So 2-2 the score. Manchester United go to Norwich on Saturday. That's a 5 Live commentary match, incidentally. Saturday, 3 o'clock at Norwich. You'll hear it here. And then after that, it is the Tottenham game on Sunday, home to Tottenham, 5:30 kickoff. Also a 5 Live commentary match. Hull City in possession. Evra back on the field. And the ball being brought forward by Chester, who has got a long way forward, but then just runs towards the edge of the box and loses possession. Ran into a combination of Cleverley and Evra. Fletcher in front of his penalty area. Michael Carrick is back on the bench for United today after over 6 weeks out. United will be pleased and relieved to see Carrick back and available. Here's Welbeck. Manchester United smoothly come forward. Januzaj appearing on the left. Welbeck trying to nod the ball through, but Chester arrives on the scene and takes it away from Welbeck and plays it up to Graham. Got a nasty bounce there, but managed to steer it towards Corrin, who plays it over the top with the outside of his right foot. Oh, and now Valencia has caught Sagbo as he ran towards the penalty area, but there were covering defenders there, and even though the Hull City supporters in front of us in their woolly hats are demanding a red card and waving their fists because it's only a yellow, the referee, I would say, and I know you're going to say the same thing, called that correctly.
Got a spot on the referee. Yes, he missed the ball, Valencia. He did take him down, but as you said, Smalling was coming across, Evans was there. Never a red card.
It's not going to stop them, Chris, in front of us, shaking their heads. Yeah, they're in animated discussion, pointing their fingers, clapping their hands, wondering how on earth that could not have been a red card. But it was a yellow because of the covering defenders. Free kick. Still 2-2. Yet to have a goal after half-time. Huddleston plays it in, but Rooney dives to his right and heads it out of play. He was a little bit like one of those, in inverted commas, continental goalkeepers, Rooney there, as he headed it out of play and then rolled across the pitch several times. And here is Hernandez, as Chris Waddle spotted, to come on as Manchester United's second substitute in this game. And it is Fletcher. That's it for Darren Fletcher. He just passed the hour mark after starting a match for Manchester United for, well, almost 13 months actually, since his last start in the 4-3 away at Reading early December last year. So Fletcher is warmly received, and I'm sure he'll have enjoyed that actually, Fletcher, as well, won't he?
I thought he did very well. He's used the ball well. We've always known he's had a terrific engine on him when he was playing, and but he's played sensible. He's used the ball well.
Throw in Figueroa for Hull. Smalling gets ahead to it. Huddleston hits the shot, took a deflection, carried it further away from the goal, but De Gea was concerned. He was diving to his left corner.
I think it hit Evra, who blocked it with his left foot. Good strike by Huddleston, and again, Hull carry a threat. Even though Manchester United dominate possession in the game, you've got to say Hull do look a threat going forward.
We're into the last half hour, still 2-2, 5 Live, and Huddleston himself will take this corner. Huge figure compared to the other footballers, that enormous mane of hair that Huddleston has. Plays it in, and it's headed, hits the post. De Gea was beaten. Hull City inches away from going ahead in the match once again. And then Manchester United clear. So more thrills and spills to come from the KC Stadium. It is 2-2, but time for our first commentary match from Kempton and John Hunt.
Yes, the Cordo Star novice chase, and there's one of the outsiders, Anacotti, coming down towards the last fence. John clear of green flag. The favourite Justapar is well beaten. Anacotti is over the last from green flag. The gap between them 7 or 8 lengths at around 12-1. This will be quite a surprise. It's a big fillip though for the Cheltenham trainer Martin Keith-Lee, as outsider Champion Court in the King George at 3:10 this afternoon. Anacotti wins the Cordo Star novice chase in great style, and the favourite Justapar labours home only 4th of 5 runners.
Excellent, John. Thank you very much. We'll be back with John Hunt in about half an hour's time for the Christmas Hurdle. Commentary on the Christmas Hurdle next. And then, as John mentioned, the King George itself at round about 3:10. You'll hear that all here on 5 Live. Remains Hull City 2, Manchester United 2. And last you heard from us, Curtis Davis was the Hull City player whose header struck the top of the post. And here, El Mohammadi might have been fortunate not to receive a yellow card for his challenge on Januzaj.
I think what the fans are shouting for, the referee didn't give it, and Januzaj fell to the ground.
Oh, right.
And the fans have picked up on it, as they have all game, on any little foul. So that's what they're saying, is if he's already been booked, if you catch that as class that as diving, then...
Yeah, Januzaj again. Graham now just has a heavy touch there. And Manchester United, Smalling can take possession back. Just need to keep an eye on this with Januzaj. At the moment, it just seems to be part of his game. Only 18 years old, but for whatever reason, it is part of his game at the moment. I don't know, do you just knock it out of him in terms of what you say to him and tell him not to do it? I mean, David Moyes, you see, is very strong on this at Everton last season, and he's had no alternative but to carry that on, because that is his stated position, to be very strong against diving.
Well, all he can say to him is, look, don't go. But I've got to say, even though the crowd have picked up on it and the ref didn't give it, he did look like it was a foul.
Welbeck does really well there for Manchester United through to Hernandez, but Hernandez dispossessed by Chester. And Hernandez there, perhaps if he'd been on the field since the start, he might have found the pass back to Welbeck. But it's Hull City who break away down the other end. Graham into the box and then nudges Evans in the back. And that's a free kick to Manchester United. So 25 minutes to play. Hull City 2, Manchester United 2. It's going to be a busy few minutes of team news for you on 5 Live over the course of the next little period, because we have 8 3:00 kickoffs in the Premier League. The commentary match is Arsenal's game at West Ham, and Ian Dennis has that news.
And Arsene Wenger has resisted the temptation for change, with the exception of one enforced alteration. Rosicky has a knee problem, so Cazorla comes into the midfield for Arsenal. One change too for West Ham. Nolan back from suspension for Mark Noble.
Manchester United take the lead for the first time in the match. The cross from the right, and it's headed into his own net by James Chester. So Hull City 2, Manchester United 3, and their comeback is complete.
Well, that's where they've had the joy down the flanks. It's a good ball in. I think, is it Ashley Young puts it in, and what does James Chester think? He's got Wayne Rooney breathing down the back of his neck, but he should be able to head that away, and he's headed it straight in the back of the net.
So from 2-0 down, Manchester United lead 3-2. Figueroa was beaten all ends up on the left-hand side, and the ball came into the near post, and Chester, who, remember, opened the scoring in this game against the club where he started his career, was put under pressure and just nodded it past Steve Harper into the net. And now from 2-0 up, Hull City are 3-2 down to the champions.
Well, this will be hard for Hull now, John, because they're going to have to come out, and it's not really the game plan, is it, to go and push teams back, and they'll get caught on the break. So it's going to be interesting now with Steve Bruce, who's used a couple of subs. Will he bring on somebody like Boyd, or will he look at Matty Fryer? Can he nick a goal? But they're always going to be vulnerable to the counter-attack by this Manchester United side.
Just a little incident as well, when Manchester United's players were celebrating the goal there, a number of the Manchester United supporters, I don't know if they maybe ran down an area there, although it does seem very closely packed in there, but certainly some supporters seem to have spilled over the advertising hoardings.
There seemed to be a gate there, John, which was open, and they all come running through the gate onto the advertising boards.
Yeah, and so there are a number of stewards, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 stewards or so, who are either just putting that gate in position. I don't think anyone is hurt there. I don't think anyone suffered from that, which is a relief, because it just looked a little concerning there for a moment. Januzaj now to Evra, and El Mohammadi slides in, and according to Michael Oliver, plays the ball back onto Evra, who is running after Michael Oliver as he makes his way back towards the halfway line and then decides to give up.
Well, I've got to say, the referee got that right. I just saw a replay to my left, and it did come off Evra's toe.
David Moyes believes otherwise. Steve Round believes otherwise. And no, hang on a moment. Now he's having a little go there, David Moyes, at El Mohammadi.
Yep.
Who might have just said something to David Moyes, I don't know, as he ran past him, because he was quite close to where Moyes was standing on the edge of the coaching area. But the score is Hull City 2, Manchester United 3. And we've had 2 own goals in the game, in what seems to be a season of own goals. I don't know how many there have been, but we seem to have 2 or 3 virtually every weekend in the Premier League.
I thought that was a poor one to give away. It was a good ball in, don't get us wrong. I know Wayne Rooney's breathing down the back of his neck, but was he distracted? Because to me he just seemed to head it straight into the goal.
3-2 Manchester United. We will be getting team news from all of the other 3 o'clock kickoffs, I'm sure, and the Christmas hurdle and the King George to come from Kempton on this packed afternoon of sport on 5 Live, all the way through to 10 o'clock at night, and then Test Match Special will be back on air at 11 o'clock this evening on Sports Extra and Radio 4 198 Longwave. We can get the Chelsea team news next from Stamford Bridge. Chelsea are playing Swansea, and Jonathan Overend is there.
Well, 5 changes for the Chelsea side from the team which drew at Arsenal, of course, including the return of Ashley Cole at left back for Azpilicueta. Etu will start up front instead of Torres. Luiz comes into the back 4 instead of Cahill, and Oscar and Mata replace Willian and Lampard in midfield, who both dropped to the bench. 6 changes in total for Chelsea, for Swansea, I beg your pardon, including the return in midfield for Leon Britton.
Thank you, Jonathan. Manchester United winning 3-2 now. Hull City trying to come forward. Huddleston just turns to his left. Latest scores in the Championship, by the way. Watford are now 3-0 up on Millwall in the 5 Live Sports Extra commentary match. And Charlton are now winning 3-1 against Brighton. Manchester United win it back in centre field. Januzaj carrying the ball from the halfway line. Januzaj still going, but played it too far ahead of Welbeck. And Davis was able to turn and steer it out towards this flank, where it's rolled out of play next to the corner flag, and indeed beyond the corner flag, for a corner to Manchester United. 20 minutes to play, and Manchester United have completed the recovery in terms of coming back from 2 goals behind in this match. Everything seems to have settled down behind the Hull City goal, where the supporters came through that gate. The corner taken by Manchester United, short, back to Rooney. Rooney square now to Cleverley. Cleverley sees Valencia arriving to his right, near the right corner of the box now. Still a packed penalty area. Valencia stabs it into the box, and it's cleared away from near the penalty spot by Alex Bruce, back towards the halfway line. Cleverley now. Long ball forward to Smalling, who's still up there. Then Welbeck was challenged by Bruce, who took the ball but has clearly been adjudged to have taken the man as well, and it's a free kick right of centre.
Well, he's a very aggressive player, we know, Bruce, and Alex Bruce, and he likes a tackle. I think he's played the ball, and maybe the follow through took Welbeck down, and this time the referee, I think, booked him as well.
Booked him?
I think so, yes. He's just walked away. I've seen him putting his card away, so...
Brentford 3-2 up on Swindon now in League One. Brentford 3, Swindon 2. So a free kick to Manchester United. Rooney is looking like the favourite to take this. Cleverly just standing to the right of the ball. Rooney is just placing it exactly where he wants it. I thought he was going to steal a few inches, but I'll give him the benefit of the doubt there.
Great position for Wayne Rooney, this.
Yeah, it is. Young standing to the right of the ball, but Rooney's ready. A player just drops back onto the line next to Steve Harper, so the Manchester United players now, and then the player comes out. Rooney's free kick, and it's wide of the wall and the post. Now Rooney is complaining to the referee, and Young was there as well, and such was the strength of Rooney's protests that the yellow card comes out.
Well, I already had him coloured in yellow before the game, but so I didn't have to mark that one down, because again, he's at the referee. The referee, when you spot something, it's sometimes how you talk to a referee. As Hull make a substitution.
So what was the complaint about there? The fact that the wall wasn't 10 yards?
Well, that's what he's saying. Well, listen.
Right, Hull City bringing on George Boyd for Maino Figueroa. While they do that, we'll get to White Hart Lane, where Simon Mann has the team news. Simon.
Spurs make 2 changes, John. Holtby in for Dembele, who's injured, and Chadley for Lamela, who's on the bench. West Brom is a bit like the League Cup. They've made 7 changes today. They play West Ham in London on Saturday. Perhaps they're saving themselves for that. The players to survive from Saturday's draw with Hull, that's the best way. Foster, Olsen, Morrison and Brunt. Plenty of those left out are on the bench today, John.
Thank you, Simon. Very nice to have you back with us, back in the winter. Simon, who's just got back from his Test Match Special duty in Australia, so he will bring us the news from White Hart Lane this afternoon. Just while we've got a stoppage here, Chris, your old club Tottenham, Tim Sherwood's appointment till the end of next season.
Well, it's a strange one, I suppose. But hey, listen, he's been there a long time. He knows the players. He knows how the club works. He knows what the fans want.
Oh, a slip in the back for Hull. Januzaj trying to get onto this, but Harper out of his penalty area to clear it away downfield onto the head of Evrain. You can finish your sentence.
Well, it'll just be interesting, won't it? The results will decide if it's the right decision or not. But we'll see what happens with it. And he knows the players. He knows how the club play. He knows what the fans want. We'll see how it goes.
So Tottenham this afternoon, first game after his permanent appointment, taking on Stoke City. Tom Huddleston just put a challenge in on Januzaj there that sent Januzaj sprawling off the field, and his white shirt is now heavily muddied. And Huddleston, who's not one of the players who's been yellow carded yet in the game, nothing wrong with the challenge. And again, one or two Manchester United eyes though cast towards referee Oliver. And then Huddleston slides in on Welbeck, and Welbeck used his hand as the ball bounced away, so it's a free kick. David Moyes does not like that decision. The players, the managers have, be interested. I'm not sure they'll say it publicly after the game, but I don't think they've been too impressed with the way that Michael Oliver's handled things today.
Well, I think that's going to be a big part of what you hear in the interviews after, but...
Ball in from the right-hand side for Hull City. It's evaded everyone on the edge of the box. Ashley Young is there. Michael Carrick is going to come on very shortly for Manchester United for their final change. And the ball eventually out of play on the far side for a throw-in to United. Actually, Michael Oliver was the referee at White Hart Lane when Hull City were there. Do you remember the controversial handball that was given against Hull? And Spurs won the game. It was Michael Oliver that day who was refereeing Hull City. Throw in to United, just taken up the line by Valencia. Hull City win it back. Now it's played for over the top of Graham and through to De Gea, the goalkeeper. So 15 minutes to play, and Manchester United are winning 3-2. The floodlights have been switched on, even though we have glorious winter sunshine right across the city of Kingston upon Hull, and those bare trees are being bathed in that orangey sunshine. Here is Corrin in the centre circle for Hull City. He plays it out towards the left-hand side. Corrin wants it back. In fact, it is given away. That was really careless to Hernandez. Hernandez now to his left to Welbeck. Welbeck into the penalty area. Hull City players coming back. Welbeck. Huddleston puts in the challenge and wins it back. That was an escape there. That was too careless. Oh, and then it's given away again. Livermore couldn't find Corrin, and so now Johnny Evans stepping forward, halfway inside the Hull City half. Out it goes to Young on the right-hand side. Young against Chester. One way then the other. Young's cross, and it's headed behind at the back post by Al Mohammadi for a corner.
Oh, terrific ball by Young. Carrick's getting ready to come on. Young's jogging across to take this corner, but Hull, as you say, concentration levels are a little bit tired now, and they're giving the ball away too cheaply.
Right, Manchester United will make the change before the corner, and Ashley Young turns and applauds the Manchester United supporters, and as you hear, is widely booed as he comes off the field to be replaced by Michael Carrick, who is back after over 6 weeks out, and Manchester United will obviously be pleased about that, to have him back and available. Here's the corner, played in, and it's gone through a number of players. Evra was closest to getting a touch for United, but the ball eventually runs out of play for a throw-in to Hull over on the left-hand side. So Hull City 2, Manchester United 3. And we've got a stoppage over on the far side. Referee Oliver is calling the Hull City physio, so I don't know whether Alex Bruce has taken a knock and needs some treatment, but he's had to go off the field behind the goal, so Hull are going to have to play with 10 men just temporarily. And the Hull City physio was given a real test there of his sprinting abilities. He has. I'm told from those who can see the pictures that his nose is bleeding. So Hull defending with only 10 men. Welbeck shoots, the ball took a deflection, but off Hernandez and through for a goal kick. So Steve Harper won't hurry here. So if you just joined us on 5 Live, if you joined us late on this Boxing Day afternoon, Hull City were 2-0 up here through a Chester goal and Johnny Evans' own goal in the first 13 minutes but Chris Smalling and Rooney scored to make it 2-2 before we'd had another 13 minutes, and the only goal we've seen in the second half, a James Chester own goal. So he has scored at both ends against the club where he started his career. And apparently another in the history of the entire Premier League statistic for you. It is the first time in Premier League history that 3 players have scored a goal and an own goal in the same game within a single match. I'll give you a minute or two to think if you know who the others are, just for a bit of Boxing Day fun. Yes, Sagbo, who fouls cleverly, and it's a free kick to Manchester United inside their own half. The answers are Phil Bardsley and Vincent Kompany, as well as James Chester. Here's Evra on the left for Manchester United with just over 10 minutes to play. All the 3 o'clock games to come. Commentary should be a good one, actually. West Ham against Arsenal, which I feel, Chris, will ask Arsenal 1 or 2 questions today, just in the form that they're in at the moment.
Yep, West Ham, though, don't score a lot of goals. They've had a big problem with that, and they are hard to beat. But if West Ham, if anybody stands off Arsenal and let them play, the quality they've got, they will score goals. It's up to West Ham to stop them playing.
Ball played forward up the right-hand side for Manchester United, but it deflects out of play for a throw into Hull off Januzaj, so throw in near their own corner flag. I was in the press conference after the match at the Emirates Stadium the other night when Arsene Wenger, quite rightly, was pointing out, when 1 or 2 questions were being asked, said, well, the thing is, we are still level on points at the top of the Premier League table, which is, of course, a fair point. It is now Charlton 3, Brighton 2, another goal back for Brighton. Gillingham against Leyton Orient has reached half-time. Gillingham 1-0 up on Orient. And Watford now 4-0 up on Millwall, having lost their last 5 home games. Watford, that is the first home match for their new manager as well. Watford, Giuseppe Sannino, in charge at Vicarage Road for the first time and winning 4-0. You can hear that on Sports Extra right now. We're into the last 10 minutes in the Premier League here at the KC Stadium. 3-2 Manchester United lead. Manchester United now heading towards a 5th consecutive victory in all competitions. Hull, though, coming forward. The ball raking pass from the left-hand side, aiming towards El Mohammadi. Comes off the head of Welbeck. It's just limping a little there, Welbeck. El Mohammadi takes a quick throw. Bruce now plays it into the box. Headed away by a diving Evans. Huddleston trying to reach it, but Rooney's there with him. And then the attempted pass was intercepted by Cleverley. Huddleston's got it back for Hull. Now El Mohammadi on the right. El Mohammadi's early cross, hooked up in the air. Carrick just on as a substitute. Manchester United still haven't cleared it, but they have now as Rooney volleys it downfield into the Hull City half. And then it finds its way all the way back to Steve Harper. Chris Waddle.
Well, I think Hull got some good footballers on the side, and they try and play the right way, as you say, but it's just the final third, isn't it? They just need that one striker for me, a bit of quality around the penalty area, and they'll finish mid-table, there's no doubt about that. But up to the final third, they're a nice side, but that's where they're going to come across the problem, especially second half of the season.
So you're saying in terms of the sort of defence midfield, if you look at that, mid-table, but still questions because of potentially a lack of goals.
Yep, lack of goals. And if you think today, John, all right, they've had an own goal, which was a shot on target, we know, but another goal was a set piece. Apart from that, another set piece have hit the post with Curtis Davies from a corner. Apart from that, really, they haven't really created anything, have they?
Quite a big game for Hull here on Saturday when Fulham come.
Massive.
And if they do lose this match, a little bit of pressure on that for Hull, otherwise they'll have lost both of their home games between Christmas and New Year. But still time left here today, and they've just sort of hinted at the fact that they might be able to maybe create a chance in these final moments. 3-2, Manchester United with the slender lead. Here's Huddleston, forward and left of the centre circle. Huddleston out to the right-hand side to El Mohammadi. Then El Mohammadi into Bruce and Livermore looking for Boyd, but Evra got there first. So Hull City start again from near the halfway line. Still Huddleston. Now an aerial ball, which is headed across from the left-hand side by Chester, who had appeared on the left side, but it was caught by De Gea at the near post. Should say as well, with the little Hull City rejig that they've had, that it is now a back four for Hull City, with Chester playing on the left-hand side. And here's Carrick, who's being put under pressure. Evra plays it up towards the left-hand side here. And Welbeck in front of where Steve Bruce stands. Evra now works his way away from El Mohammadi, but has to play it back into his own half. Cleverly just waits on the ball, then gives it out towards the right-hand side. And Valencia has to be careful. Cleverly to Smalling. Hull City are working really hard here. Manchester United with the ball inside their own half, but there's black and amber all over them. And now forward towards Sagbo, who had a poor touch there, and Evans was able to clear away.
Well, Manchester United have come off the pace since they went 3-2 up. They just want to look after the ball now. They don't seem to want to score any more goals and put this game to bed. They're letting Hull come onto them. And then no. He didn't touch him.
Free kick given Manchester United's way, and Huddleston is literally bouncing mad about that. And it's a free kick to Manchester United, and Tom Huddleston continues to talk to Michael Oliver. You know, that was quite a reaction to the giving of that free kick against Huddleston, who has not been booked in the game, but no yellow card. Rooney now back into his own half. In League 2 it has finished Wickham 0, Newport County 1. That one of the 12:30 kickoffs. And Welbeck on the left-hand side. Welbeck showed too much of it to El Mohammadi, who clattered it into the Manchester United man, and it bounces out of play. And he felt that. So 3-2 Manchester United lead. Just going to nip back to Ian Dennis ahead of our 3 o'clock commentary match, Ian.
Yes, the team news I gave you earlier was actually incorrect. It was told the wrong team from the tunnel, so there will be repercussions for that later. But basically 4 changes for West Ham. Nolan's back from suspension for Taylor. Joe Cole and Carlton Cole also start for Morrison and Maega, and O'Brien replaces Duhamel at right back.
Somebody maybe just overindulged a little bit over the Christmas period. We'll be asking. No, I wasn't suggesting it was.
Well done,
don't be so defensive.
Well done, Deno.
Here's Hernandez into the penalty area, and Bruce is trying to shield it behind and plays it off Hernandez and behind for a goal kick. Well, Chris, we've got 3.5 minutes plus added time to go. Manchester United, you wouldn't say they're hanging on, but you know, there's a bit of spirit about Hull City here.
That's what I like about them. I think they've got good camaraderie. I think that's going to help them a lot in the second half of the season as well. And you need that team spirit. They've definitely got that. And yes, listen, they haven't really asked enough questions of Manchester United. They've competed well in the middle of the park and they've defended well. But attack-wise, Hull just don't really carry that threat.
Lovely pass from Livermore to Sagbo, who's beaten the challenge of Evra. Sagbo's crossed to the back post. Graham with a header. Oh, he's headed it straight at De Gea. He was backpedaling there, but that was the chance. That might be the only chance they get for 3-3.
Well, he did well. Sagbo down the right, goes to a challenge and picks him out the far post. As you say, John, he's going backwards and he's on his heels. And he just can't generate any power. Back across the goal. Easy save.
Just think it might have been different if now hang on, Cleverly and El Mohammadi just coming together off the ball there. El Mohammadi threw himself to the ground, rolled around and then got back up in the same motion. Here's Boyd now on the left. Boyd's cross, Smalling got his head to it, doesn't clear it. Sagbo at the far post with Evra. Rooney takes the ball down. Sagbo's appealing for handball against Rooney inside the box. He's the only one on the field anyway. Bruce now high ball. Oh, De Gea's come a long way. He's lost it. Graham heads it down. De Gea throws himself with his right foot at the ball, and Hull City can't take advantage, and Manchester United scramble it clear. Oh, rush of the blood. David De Gea there, and he was fortunate to get away with that.
Well, what was he doing there? Big S on his t-shirt when he came for it, wasn't it? And he's all right, he's won it, but he's dropped it down, and then you're waiting for, the Hull players are waiting for a challenge. I think they were looking all to go down, and they scrambled it away. They've made hard work of this the last half hour, Manchester United.
However, they're still winning 3-2. It's been good entertainment though, hasn't it, for a Boxing Day game? Well, for any day.
No, it's been good. With the start we had, John, fantastic. Hull 2-0 up, and then start asking questions. Man United come back brilliantly. They played some good stuff, got themselves back in front, and as I say, Hull very spirited, very honest, but final third's let him down.
Yeah, be quite a lot to talk about when we hear from David Moyes and Steve Bruce a little later. Juliet Farrington's just disappeared downstairs to bring you the interviews on 5 Live Sport a little later. We'll have commentary as well very shortly on the Christmas hurdle from Kempton. The King George off around about 3:10. Ball played by Welbeck, through to for Hernandez. Hernandez nearly beats Davis, played it past him, but Davis recovered well. Still Hernandez though, and then Davis again does well, just watches it carefully over on the far side and touches it out for a throw. We're in the last minute of the 90, so it looks as though Steve Bruce will be foiled again as he tries to win for the first time as a manager against his old club. But were they able to get something out of this in the seconds that remain, it would feel a little bit like a win, I think, against them. But Manchester United taking as long as they can to take this throw on the far side of the ground, and it is taken now eventually by Valencia, and then Hernandez keeps it in. Boyd shields it for Hull and plays it to Huddleston, and now Huddleston is intercepted, and then down goes Boyd, and Valencia, who took the ball away, just hacked it forward and concedes a free kick and is shown a yellow card for, I think that was, and it's a second yellow for Valencia, and I'm not sure whether that was just the way that he kicked out there or whether it was the challenge that was deemed to be a yellow card. I presume it was the challenge, and Manchester United down to 10 men for the final seconds, and Valencia's off and will obviously serve a suspension. 3 minutes of added time.
Well, silly card to get. You know, game's basically finished, it's won. Silly card.
Yeah, silly foul, silly card, off he goes. But we've got 2.5 minutes of added time. Steve Harper's going to take this free kick, does so long to the edge of the area, headed away by Smalling for Manchester United. The champions leading 3-2 here, but it's not over yet. Corrin to the edge of the area, headed on into the box, takes a flick off another Hull head. Sagbo's trying to reach it. Rooney's there as well, strong. The two of them going for it together. Corner given. Rooney's absolutely incandescent. Evans complaining too. Manchester United have taken their eye off the ball here. Corner taken short, but not Evra. He cleared it. Held back in by Livermore, and then headed over the top of the crossbar. And the referee, well, Evans is now going to the referee and just making the point about the conceding of the corner, I'm sure. Well, it was Chester, wasn't it, who had the header there, again, having scored at both ends. Chester with a chance, but it was over the top and a goal kick.
Well, again, they're all at the referee, and I know, listen, players get frustrated, we've all done it, but you've just got to let them get on with it. The more you're moaning, I don't see the point of constant nagging of the referee, and it's got to be something done about it. It's a hard job, listen, we know it is, and you're going to get some right and some wrong, but it's ridiculous today what we saw. Players, every decision out confront the referee. It's not right.
I think the referee, Michael Oliver, today will really feel as though he's been in a match. He almost played it himself. Well, we've got 1 minute of added time to go. Huddleston, long and forward for Hull, headed away by Smalling, comes out to Boyd. That's a lovely pass to the left-hand side. Chance here. Chester was in, and De Gea came out and made the block. And Chester holds his head. Had his chance there to win it for Hull City, to get the goal to make it level for Hull City. It would have felt like a win, but it was saved by the Manchester United goalkeeper. Still a corner, however. But what a chance for Chester. Probably fell to the wrong man. Huddleston with the corner into the 6-yard box, and an uppercut from De Gea to punch it away. Comes out for Corrin, hits a shot, rattles around inside the penalty area, cleared away downfield by Carrick, and Corrin will get there first for Hull. Back to Harper, who plays it forward. 15 seconds, I make it, that we've got left. Manchester United are claiming that should be it, but no, there is still time to play. He has Livermore, he's a long way out, he's thinking about a shot, he does, and it's blocked immediately by Carrick. What a chance for Chester, Chris.
Oh, unbelievable, unbelievable, and you couldn't ask for anything better than last minute.
Steve Bruce is almost on the pitch. Harper long and forward. This will be the last chance. Davis heads it down, comes out, Bruce with a shot, and he shanked it wide. Well, Carrick threw himself in front of Alex Bruce, but he couldn't direct the effort on target. Goal kick, I think that'll be it.
Well, fantastic spirit by Hull, and the fans rightly so appreciating this side. They've put an unbelievable effort into this today, and they'll feel it deserves something with what they've done. But again, it's that final third. They've had 2 glorious chances in the last 5 minutes. Can't take them, and that's the big difference in the Premier League.
Steve Bruce will wonder when he's ever going to win a game as a manager against Manchester United. Goal kick. I think this will be the final act. It is. There it goes. Well, Manchester United coming from 2-0 down here. They were 2-0 down after 13 minutes to Hull City, but have come back to win it by 3-2. It's their 5th win in a row in all competitions, their best form under David Moyes in terms of a run like that. For the time being, they go up into 6th place, and now Manchester United, as we speak, are just 5 points behind Liverpool and Arsenal at the top of the table. Final score here at the KC Stadium after a rattling good 90 minutes of entertainment. Hull City 2, Manchester United 3.